Hello, it's been so long. Nice to be here. I promised myself that I would show up here only when I was called to do so and never um, under false pretense, obligation, and all sorts of silly things like that, thought patterns. And I've been very busy doing Zoom calls throughout the weeks for the last few months, and I was sort of talked out. And but I've been missing wanting to be here, and so it felt good once again. For some reason, I'm always called here when I'm facing challenges, when I don't look so good, when I'm humbled. I think that's what it is. When I feel deeply humbled by life, I'm called here. Sometimes when great joy hits me as well. So I will call this one, You Are Allowed to Change. You are allowed to change. And I think I'm calling this video Allowed to Change. In allowance means that you have a choice. And in choices come responsibilities. In responsibilities lays your freedom. In your freedom lays your deepest chance at peace and harmony and great fulfillment of your soul's deepest desires. So it sounds all good, right? All lovely. and then here I am, back crashing down deeply into my physical body, into my life here on earth with all of you. We're all here, knowing all these things, I'm assuming, that I just mentioned. And yet, when it comes down to it, it can be so extremely challenging to take that freedom and run with it. And so it's easy to say you are allowed to change, but what does that mean really? Because very often what we think we are is a mumbled, what's the word in English? Accumulation of learned behavior and fear-based decision-making that seem to have served us at the time. And here we are with those same patterns that may have served us several years ago or decades ago when we were 5 and we're 40-something and 50-something and 60-something, and we're still making decisions based on these patterns, which could be learned from your family, from a crazy situation that put you in deep fear, and at the time that fear-based choice may have been the wisest thing to have gone to and got you out of that situation or got you through it. But it's not the best way to thrive, and it's not based on freedom. It's according to whatever fear saw was most intelligent at the time. It's according to mom and dad and family and school system and the neighborhood. According to the country, city, place that you lived in, events that happened, and it sort of accumulates based on these patterns that you may have liked at the time, chosen at the time, and we get stuck there. And even that sounds really simple, but it goes deep and it's subtle. It's almost like these platform of choices, the obvious one that we kind of see, have deeper roots in more subtle choices that are now automatic. So your fears, really, and who you think you are is often far, far, far from the being that you've been for a very long time. And so much of it is based on fear and wanting to fit in and survival and a need to belong, a need to belong somewhere, to feel safe, which makes sense. You have to be desired, wanted, and loved by mom and dad, to be nourished, to be dressed, to be, to be protected. And so automatically we know we have to belong, we have to fit in, we have to be wanted. and on it goes. We keep on wanting to belong and fit in and be wanted and be approved of and be appreciated. And the concept of being appreciated for that being that you are, that may not look at all like what's around you, or aspect of who you are that are not understood and accepted and rejected, and then you reject it yourself, and that rejection of yourself becomes who you think you are. And it just adds on, and then you're faced with decisions later on in life that are not really about survival, but it always feels like it is, and you get stuck there. And I think as my own evolution unfolds, I'm going deeper and deeper into the roots of not necessarily the whys, but I can witness where I stop myself from seeing all the choices that are available to me, because it's scary. So a decision that I don't have any backup for, a decision that would be a very new decision, I do not know the outcome, I am pulled there, and then my mind reminds me of all the what if and all the other ways that maybe others are telling me to do, to go to utilize, whatever that is, in order to move through this situation, whatever that is. And so there's this pull that I'm guided toward that may not always look like the most spiritual one, or the most accepted one, or the most fitting one. And it's challenging to trust that. So it's challenging to trust that which is what you are. It is telling you where to go, what to do, whom to stick around with, whom not to, what decision to make regarding your health, relationship, work, money. It gets very tricky. This mind talks to you and your fear kicks in, and making these choices that allows you to slowly step into what you really are and let go of that which was just borrowed behaviors, borrowed thought processes, and let those go, so that slowly you discover all that you can be, which could be something that you would not even imagine right now. And I'm not saying that's better. One thing I know now, more than ever, is that I don't know much. And I'm dealing with these situations right now where I'm always deeply humbled because I have all those things that I hear that make sense, but I'm pulled not to listen, and then I don't know the outcome. It's open, it's unknown. And will I step into it and embrace it and believe before I even say yes, know that it's for my highest good regardless of the outcome. So it's not waiting for the outcome to prove to me that this new person that I decide to be is a good choice. It's knowing that before I even proceed. Listen, whatever decisions we've made in the past, we have created situations that may have felt like, as we were proceeding through them and also looking back, as monumental mistakes, right? Or made decisions where the outcome was very challenging, or allowed the other people to make decisions for us and the outcomes were very challenging, or the decision was perhaps correct and it was still challenging. So the fact that you could listen to that new decision, that new pull, that unknown me, right? Unknown I, that elusive new person that you may wish to be without knowing why, and you make this decision that's not based on any history. It's a completely new decision, and the fact that it might bring with it challenges does not mean that it was a wrong decision. We've made decisions that were based on old information, and it's been a heck of a ride for most of us. So the outcome per se, or the actual challenges that presents themselves from all these little decisions, those things do not in themselves give you a meaning of right or wrong. but how you feel and the deep pull of the why you made that decision, knowing that you felt fear and you moved through it and you still honor that organic, deeply potent pull, that you know that's true, that you know that is you, and that following that is right for you, regardless of what comes of it. And that's a big one, because we're all, happy to discuss our higher self and our highest well-being and our biggest potential and abundance and being authentic and all that. But we want to do this with the confirmation that what comes with it is only good stuff. So it ain't going to be hard anymore, and I'm not going to be sick anymore, and nobody around me that I love will be sick or die. The challenges that are, make us feel unstable, that rock us, will not come, because if I make these decisions, these higher self decisions, life will be all good and easy. And then we have this prerequisite to our evolution as a soul and as a human being. And it's just not like that. It really is how we learn to accept and be at peace with this new way without asking it to be fitting an image in our heads that are just lovely, like a fairy tale, right? So you are so allowed, I am so allowed to become that which I am, whatever that is. And hopefully it's not any of my thought-based idea of what I am. It's something I don't know. But in every moment that I have that pull, if I can honor it and not discard it if the outcome is not pleasant, if I can honor it knowing that in the choice is my well-being, and in each of these choices I am uncovering, letting go of old habits that I've created in me that I inherently know it is not that which I am. Not what people ask of me, not what my mind is asking of myself. By mind I mean the little mind, the intellectual recorder that records memory and is really doing the best that it can to keep us safe based on old, events, trying to protect us that way, and trusting that in each of my real, honest decision based on a organic, deep internal pull, if I allow that to be, follow that pull, that I will uncover that which I am, that person, that energy that will feel comfortable to be with when I'm all alone, when there's no excitement and distraction, when I don't have to do anything for anyone. Nothing needs to be done when I sit or lay or before I go to bed. When I'm in there, there's harmony, there's peace, there's a deep, calm joy, which is different than happy. And that, I believe, is the true Isabel, and perhaps the true you. So allowing yourself to be different, regardless of how long you've been you, is possible, but it's not a fairy tale. It requires a deep yearning and an ability to step into the unknown, knowing that it's not more dangerous than the known. Probably isn't at all. I hope this was a message that felt right to hear for you right now.